Hey guys, I am back with another cooking video. You may notice I have a lot of extra makeup on just to cook, and if you've watched my Insta stories, you'll see why. I did some pictures for something special, and yeah, so we'll just bear with that for today. Today's video is on a Cucina Bowl is what I call it. It's kitchen in Italian, and it's whatever is left in my kitchen. It's pretty much things that everybody else does have in theirs, and it's whatever's left from my shop that I just recently done. So let's check it out. You actually are going to wing it along with me and watch me cook with my soul is what I call it. And yeah, I think I need to put you on the tripod. Okay guys, so what I have here is some basics that you might find in your fridge. You might find, I don't know if you're gonna find these organic full carrots, but you might actually have some kind of carrot in your fridge. So I have the carrots, I have some red peppers, zucchini squash, a white onion. I have more than one lemon, but I have one lemon out right now. Some salad. This is baby bibbed red arugula, and I have some chicken that I have to cook today or else. I don't know if that happens to you, but that happens to us often, and I hate it. I hate when you just take it to the wire and you're like on the border of letting your food go bad. Drives me insane. So Cucina Bowl it is. Butter, we all have butter, and I'm going to use some black rice. And some black rice. I use black rice because it is the only rice that my stomach can have right now. I did a microbiome test, and this is the only kind of rice that they recommend that I can eat. And I'll make a separate video about that because I've mentioned it just briefly a few times, and you probably have no idea what I'm talking about when I talk about my microbiome. So let's figure out what the heck we're gonna make. First, let's prep the chicken. Let's scoot everything out of the way. You use a different cutting board for your chicken as you do your vegetables. So I use this plastic one right here. I got from like Bed Bath & Beyond or something. And these are chicken breasts, so they're pretty thick. We're gonna pull out our knife. Ooh, it matches. Open it up. You're gonna give it a little rinse, the chicken. I hate touching the chicken. Yep, it's two really big pieces. First, we're going to prep the chicken. I just rinsed it, so pull out your chicken and rinse it in the sink. Ooh, I just threw some confetti. And I actually need to dry it too, so I don't have any paper towels out right now. I'm just gonna use this napkin, dab them dry so they're not soaking wet. These are two chicken breasts that are large pieces, and I want to cut them into 4 thin pieces because what I want to do is I want to roll them into, ooh, this one's really wet. Okay. I want to roll them into little cheesy dill rolls. So I do have cheese in the fridge that I didn't take out before, but grab some cheese. But first, we need to cut this chicken. So you get a sharp knife, you place your hand on the top of the chicken and find a good spot to just start cutting it down the center. Let's move this one. So we can end up with 2 thin pieces of chicken out of the one. I'm gonna do that to the next one. This video might seem a little more awkward than the last because I really don't know where I'm going with this. You're just watching me wing it as I go. So there's really no pre-thought to what I might say. But this is what happens when you cook on the fly. And this one's a better piece. The other one was like chunky. This one made 2 really nice, thin sliced chicken cutlets. All right, make sure that you use a different cutting board for your vegetables. We're just gonna leave this here for a second. We're gonna rinse our hands, wash our hands, not rinse, use some soap. I'm gonna preheat the oven to 350 because everything that I will be baking will be 350 as a good temp. And then we're going to put on the rice. The rice is the thing that cooks the longest out of everything. So you might as well start that first once you get that preheat started. When you make rice, you have to follow the directions on your little rice package. Rice is more precise. Cooking is really like not so much into the measurements like baking is, but when you cook rice, you really need to follow the directions with that. Too little water will burn it and make it hard and crunchy. Too much water, it just won't absorb and you're just getting really weird rice out of that. So with this rice, it's black pearl rice, and this one is different than my other black rice. This one cooks in 30 minutes. And it's 1 3/4 cup of water to 1 cup of rice. So we're gonna, I love these bags. They have like this Velcro zip instead of one of those annoying little zips that you usually get. So I think that's pretty cool with this brand. Wash. I am going to put 1 3/4 cup of water. Even though it's boiling and I don't have a filter on my sink, so I just use filtered water anyway. So 1 3/4 cup. And you bring it to a boil, and then once it starts boiling for a minute, you then bring it down to simmer and you let that cook on low for 30 minutes. I use a different cutting board, and everybody should use a different cutting board for cutting their vegetables and their meats. I use this wood one from Williams-Sonoma. Love this cutting board so much. Also, I'm gonna use a different knife. And I'm just going to chop off the ends of these carrots. Oh, I need to get a different knife. Using those Cucina knives that my mother-in-law got that I might have talked about on my last video. They're pretty cool, they're really sharp, I love them. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna chop off the top of the carrot, because I like to bake them. We actually usually barbecue them, but I'm not going all the way down to the barbecue here at the apartments. So I'm just gonna bake them today. And I really like just the look, and yeah, really I just like the look of eating an entire full carrot. It just plates better, and I know that might sound silly, but I like to look at pretty food even if I'm cooking it just for myself. So let's just throw this out, scoot these to the side. Those are already washed, so we're gonna rinse our peppers. Okay, so we're going to chop the peppers into just a bunch of little diced up pieces, just to give a different shape and texture to whatever is happening in this bowl, because everything can't be these big long pieces of food. You want different shapes, different sizes, and different colors and textures. So I'm just going to slice.
You see, I know this, but the last days in real life I've noticed. Losing focus, breaking up from our life as we know.
I use the end to feed Monty as I eat and as I cook. I don't know if anybody else does that, but he loves vegetables, and he's probably coming running any second now just to get a piece of this pepper. I just cut off all like the little pieces around the center. Now that we have these pieces, oh, here comes Monty. Hey! Give him a little piece. I love him. Okay, where were we? Okay, so you take all your big pieces that you have cut and you're going to chop them into a bunch of smaller bite-sized pieces.
He's not like you, don't want him to. He's more like the river, growing stronger. When we're alone, there's no you in the picture. Ain't my number, isn't how I wanted to. You see, I know this, but the last days in real life I've noticed. Losing focus, breaking up from our life as we know it. If someone had told me that I will take off.
All right, all the peppers are done being chopped up, and what I want to do is I want to ribbon these zucchinis. So I think I'm going to pop out the peeler. I always forget what things are called. I just kind of make up names, but yeah, I'm going to take out the peeler. If you don't have a peeler, you can be really careful and use a knife and just make ribbon cuts with the knife. Sometimes I do that when I'm really lazy and I don't feel like cleaning another thing. So here is my cutter, my ribbon cutter, I'm going to call it. And you just make ribbons like so. Check on the rice, and we're gonna give it a little stir. So let me pop you with me. I'm just gonna keep you on the tripod. Why not? All right, so here is our stove and our rice. It's really, really dark over here. And we're gonna pop it open. Grab a spoon. I love me some wooden spoons. Rice a little bit. It's not exactly boiling just yet. It's been longer than a minute. So we're gonna give it a little more time to let it boil, and then we are going to then turn down the heat. But for now we're gonna keep it on high. Okay, I'm gonna show you the chopping. And I'm gonna pop you back down. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so we have our second zucchini that we need to peel. So I'm gonna do that in hyper speed again. Rice is stirred, it was boiling, so I turned it down to low so it could simmer for another 30 minutes or so. Maybe a little less because it's already been cooking for about 2 minutes. And that's the thing about rice, you don't want to just like have extra water or too little water, so you need to keep periodically checking on it to make sure that it's where it needs to be, it's not dried out, and it's not just sitting in a giant puddle of water forever. I think I'm gonna keep the peppers raw, so I'm gonna pop them in a bowl separate so that I have more room on my cutting board. Here are our pasta bowls. I use these for all of our Cucina Bowls. And I'm gonna plate the lettuce and the peppers into the bowl right now so I can get those things out of the way. Pop them in, just a handful each. Or a little more. And then I'm just gonna go halvesies with this. All of these peppers have so much nutrients in them, so there's no such thing as too much pepper in our Cucina Bowl today. We'll keep some for Monty so he can snack on it. Okay, so now what I wanna do is I wanna start rolling the chickens. We're gonna put the vegetables to the side, and we're gonna worry about making the chicken into its little rolls. Now we're gonna be rolling the chicken. I thought I had dill, but I did not. So I had just pulled out my cheese, which is Parmesan cheese, my favorite. And we are going to take some, I already did, take some of the peppers out of some of the salad bowl, and I'm gonna use peppers and cheese to roll into these chicken pieces. Grab a pan, our cheese grater, here it is. So I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit of the olive oil already onto the pan, just like a tablespoon. I'm just gonna rub it in all over. And now I'm gonna take a piece of the chicken. I'm gonna place it on the pan. Actually, let's place all of them on the pan. All of them are coming on. So we can get this cutting board out of our way. Awesome. All right, so now what we're gonna do is take our chickeny fingers and wash them real quick because we're gonna touch the cheese and we don't wanna contaminate the cheese. Okay. You have a couple of choices here. You can either grate your cheese into the chicken and that will make it melt a little quicker, or you could take a knife and you could chop the cheese into slices. I feel like just grating it today just because that's what I feel like doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to grate the cheese nice and generously into the chicken cutlet to coat the whole top. You need fresh parm to do this, so don't get the already grated cheese that you put on top of pasta. You need fresh parm. Fresh cheese, babes. I'm gonna do it to every single little piece. So we're gonna fast forward through this. Here you go. Nice, generously cheesed chicken cutlets, and next we're going to add the red peppers. So here I added the red peppers, and you can see I only put it on one side because we are going to roll it, and you can't just have them all throughout the piece in the roll because it won't hold. It would be great if you had toothpicks. I don't have any toothpicks, so I'm just gonna roll them and tuck them and hope that they stay put together. And here I go. Here we go, they are rolled and I put them sideways. So I rolled from the pepper side over this way, then once they were rolled, I then twisted them horizontally. I'm going to be adding some salt and pepper on top, and then we're gonna pop them in the oven for 15 minutes. Got my pepper, got my salt. I'm using pink Himalayan salt, and Kyle loves pepper, I love pepper. We're gonna just really douse the top of these with a lot of pepper. The first step that you saw me do with the pan was put the olive oil on it, and so now the side that is on top is already olive oil, so these pepper and the salt is going to stick onto the top. Told you we like pepper. All right, now we're gonna do a little salt. A lot comes out with this meal, so I only do like 1/4 of a crack on each. Perfect. And they look so cool and so good right now. We're gonna pop them in for 15 minutes because they are thin, and we're gonna just check on them to make sure that they're cooking, because since they're rolled up, maybe it might take 17 minutes. And this oven, as you might have remembered from my biscotti, is a little different of a cook time than my gas stove back at the house. This one is electric, so it's kind of like a game of just checking in on your food. Now that the chicken's in the oven, we're going to now play with the zucchini, because I don't eat meat, I eat fish, and I eat vegetables. So we're going to try and attempt a little version of my own of that chicken roll-up that I just did. And these are very thin and there's a lot of pieces. So we're going to take about 6 pieces of the ribboned zucchini and make it wide but thicker, so we're kind of stacking them on each other. So 8 pieces. We have 8 pieces stacked on top of each other, slightly fanned out to make this nice thick sheet right here. And we are going to, again, should have done this first, grease it with 1 teaspoon of olive oil. It might have been more like a tablespoon, but we'll use all of it. So I'm gonna smear it all over the pan. And we're going to take the zucchini strip right here, place it down. And since we don't have chicken hands, but my hands are oily, I'm going to wipe it off with. We're going to grab the cheese and the cheese grater. We're going to do the same steps. We're going to then cheese the zucchini strip. Losing focus, breaking up from our life as we know it. If someone had told me that I will take off and find something greener. I'm going to repeat that a few more times, so I'm going to do a little time lapse. Cut a little bit to put inside the center of these zucchini strips. I turn my head and hold it high, but it's making me shiver. Need to stir it, right? Not like you. Okay, so we're gonna pop a few. For the chunks that I made, I'm only putting about 3 pieces each onto the end of each. Wow, that was actually perfect. Okay, on the end of each, I'm going to show you real quick. Here's what the zucchini strips look like. They are cheesed, they have their peppers, and now we're going to roll them from the pepper side towards the naked side. This might be a little trickier than the chicken because they're not one consecutive piece, but it might just work. And I hope that you have toothpicks so you don't have to have the same worry as me. Ooh. It held up pretty good. I have a lot of zucchini left over, and I'm not going to use that for this recipe. I'm probably going to save that for breakfast tomorrow and just pop them in a Ziploc bag because I don't want to over make food that's not going to be eaten, because I just don't think this will be a great leftover if I make too many. Oop. If a pepper pops out, just pop it back in. Again, a little salt and pepper. And because they're vegetables, I'm going to put the carrots on the same exact tray and roll them in whatever oil is left over on the pan, and cheese and pepper and salt, and just kind of have them seasoned from what's already on this tray. We don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions, we'll get away, this is what we waited for. First one rolled so good and so beautifully, and these two came out a little bit crazy, but if you have toothpicks, those two would be the ones that would need it. But that one, so good. And you can see how the carrots are now seasoned just from what was left over all around the rest of the edges of the pan. So I'm gonna pop this in right next to the chicken and put these in for about 15 minutes as well. The chicken's already been in there for 5 minutes. So we have another 10 to go tend to the rice and make something with the onion, the lemon, and the butter. This sucks, it's dark. Oh. Stop him. Okay, so what we're doing now, sorry Money, I have to cook. So what I'm doing now is I'm chopping some of the onion. I cut, so here's 1/2, cut the end off. And I'm only using 1/4 of the onion because I'm only making like a serving size. I'm not using the whole white onion. I'm gonna pop that in a bag, and I'm gonna chop this into tiny little pieces so that we could pop it on the frying pan. I get so teary even if I breathe through my mouth because that's supposed to be the trick, but like, oh my god, I'm gonna be crying the rest of this video. My nose is even running. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with this, oh my god, do I have buggies running? I don't think so. So what I'm gonna do with these onions is I'm gonna pop them on the frying pan with a little bit of butter, and I'm gonna let them get transparent and aromatic. So you want to smell them and you want to see them be see-through when you're cooking them, just to bring out those flavors and cook it down a little bit. All right, before we do that, let's stir the rice. See how it's nicely absorbing the water. It needs more time because this is a long cook rice. Basmati rice cooks so much faster. It takes about 17 minutes. This is 30 to 40 minutes. So you just stir it so nothing sticks. And I just dripped it on our frying pan. Lovely. That's okay. I'm gonna put the lid back on. It's on, ooh, it's on low. We are now gonna turn on our frying pan over here to not exactly on high and not on 8. You can't even see that. And my eyes are crying. I can't really see. Holy cow. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop in just a little scoop of this butter, because what I think I'm gonna do, well, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to do a lemon butter sauce to put on top of my salad and my zucchini rolls. So what we're doing here is we're popping in about this much butter and swirl it around in the pan a smidge. And what we're making here is a lemon butter sauce. I've decided that's what I want to do because it's my like warm weather obsession. Smearing that around. I'm gonna grab the onions. We're gonna drop them in. Perfect. And we're just going to cook these down to where they start to be transparent, see-through, and aromatic, where you start to smell them in the air, because we don't want raw onions. And these onions bring such a good flavor to sauces. Hi, here's my face. You're just talking to my hand. Well, listening to my hand because my face is talking. And it's just, I really like rounding out flavors with onions and seasoning, and this is exactly the way to make a nice cozy meal, is just cooking up those onions. You probably remember your mom doing that a lot growing up, especially if you're Italian. Your mom is always cooking up some onions. We're gonna let these sit, and we are going to roll and cut the lemon so that we can squeeze that into the mixture when it's time. Bring the heat down a bit on this to about 5, because it's getting really aggressive. And I'm only in an apartment, so I do not have a hood vent. You have to be careful about that when you're cooking in an apartment, not to get too smoky. Let's check in on our rice, see how it's doing, and then we'll check on our chicken and our roll-ups. Rice needs a little stir. We have 5 minutes left on our chicken and our zucchini. So let's give that a little peep. Checking in. So our chicken is looking very good. Our carrots are looking like they need more time, and the zucchini is still pale as well, so those will need more than 5 minutes. But I think the chicken should be done very, very soon. The 5 minutes or maybe 7 minutes, but no longer than that, because we did cut them thin, so that doesn't need too much more time. All right, the heat is escaping. Let's close the oven and take a peep at our onions. See, they are not opaque yet. They're not transparent. They're still solid white, so they need another minute cooking up here. Maybe we'll add in some salt and pepper, And here are the other ingredients. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna put a generous amount of butter, because this is lemon butter, lemon, and white wine. I'm using, what is this one? It is a Moscato. Can you see it? I don't know. This camera doesn't feel like zooming in today. And yeah, that's all that's gonna go in there, and then salt and pepper. Super simple to make lemon butter sauce. If you want it to be thicker, which I don't feel like doing, let's turn you around, let me talk to you. I don't feel like making it thick, but what to do to make it thicker is to add almond flour if you're gluten-free, or a little bit of just normal flour to give that sauce a thicker texture. Just not what I'm going for today. I want more of like a saucy, wet kind of feel. So I'm not adding the flour, and I think it's time to start adding in the butter. I'll pop it here, and we're gonna start adding things.
Come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.
Some pepper.
About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions. We'll get away. This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out.
There we go. The onions are starting to brown, which is a good thing, and that means it's a good time to start adding in more butter. And this is a lemon butter sauce, so don't be afraid to put a lot of butter in there. Let me just show you that. So that's gonna melt down, and we're also going to be adding about a half a cup to a cup of white wine, and we're gonna start stirring this. We have 15 seconds left on our chicken. This is smelling so incredible right now. I cannot wait to eat this. I usually eat this with noodles. Our chicken is ready. Let me take it out and let's give it a look. Wow, the lighting today, even though it's sunny out, is crap. Sorry about this video not being the most aesthetically lit video that you've ever seen. Okay, yeah. This chicken looks done to me. Let's move this. Sorry, you guys. Here is our chicken. I'm gonna let you see it. Let me flip it around actually, because it's not focusing. There we go. So most of them stayed rolled up, except for one half unrolled. But these look so good. I can't wait to plate them so you can see the whole total product. Is this blurry or is it just me? There we go. I feel like I got it to focus. Oh my god, that looks so good. Kyle is going to love it because I do not eat this. And here is our lemon butter sauce cooking down. You can see it's not like this huge amount because it boils out of it. And I think our rice is almost done. It looks like it needs 5 more minutes. It still looks a little watery in there. And our zucchini could use another 2 more minutes. You can hear it screaming. Those are the carrots. Almost done, you guys. Now what we're gonna add is our lemon, because we didn't add any lemon juice just yet. So we're just gonna squeeze in a huge mess. So I'm doing 2 whole lemons. They really like the lemon flavor. And I did drop in some pits, so I have to fish those out. right, we're gonna give this sauce a nice little taste test. So good. I think it just needs a little more butter and then more pepper because there's no such thing as too much black pepper. I'm gonna turn off the heat. And I'm gonna take it off the heat so that it stops hyper cooking. Time to take out our zucchini and our carrots. Oh, they look so good. Turn off the oven. Check our rice, which is ready to be turned off. Perfect. And taken off the heat. Let's give it a mix. Look at that. This lighting is crap over here, so we're going to plate over on the island so you could see better. So I'm gonna pop you on the tripod and we'll be right back. It's crazy, it's like night and day over here. All right, so it is time to plate our food. We have our bowl full of salad right here. And first I like to scoop them and press them over to the side, the salad and the peppers. So there's 1/2 of the bowl still empty. And I'm gonna pull out some rice and I'm gonna scoop it into the other half that does not have anything. Ooh, smells so good. Good, one plate has its rice. You can see how hot it is. It's steaming in my face. And this one, scoop some into this one. And the next thing we're gonna do for my fellow cheese lovers is we're going to shave in some Parmesan cheese into the steaming hot rice so that it can melt into it a little bit. A little bit in here and a little bit into this one. You don't want to go too crazy because you have cheese already in your other entree pieces. All right, here it is with the cheese and no protein just yet. I'm going to plate this one. This one looks great. If it wants to get off the pan. Pop that right on top. Leave the rest over here to the side. I'm just going to place it better. Okay. And we're gonna grab some carrots. Place them here as well. These are really, really hot. Whew. And then I'm gonna plate the other one and I'll come right back to show you how they look. Okay, I had to charge the battery there because I ran out of battery. I'm going to pop you up somewhere, but really quick, want to show you the plating. Here is the beauty, but I did want to save the absolute most satisfying part for last, which is to put the sauce on this one and cut the chicken on that one for you to see the inside. So I'm gonna pop you back up onto the tripod and I will come back for you. The sauce cooled off quite a bit while I was charging the camera, but here is our lovely sauce. Really hard to bring it on an angle, you can't really see it, but here we go. This sauce I made specifically for this plate. Oh my god. So excited to eat it. The flavor on this is going to be absolutely out of this world. I am so excited to try it. Pop that in there. And now I'm going to show you everything up nice and close.
I belong to you.
Hi, Money. You excited to eat it? Oh, you can get some peppers. Yeah. Boop. Watch out for the tripod. Here we go with the sauce on. Oh my god. So full of comfort. Something about eating out of a bowl is just so comforting. And we're gonna cut this chicken now. Beautiful. It's not as hot as it was, so you don't see the cheese streaming out. But that is just cooked perfectly. Here you have it, peeps. Chicken parmesan roll up with black rice, zucchini cheese roll up, baby lettuce, red bibbed, baked carrots, and red peppers. So simple, so easy. This one doesn't have the chicken, but it does have the lemon butter onion sauce that is to die for. And this did not take very long. This is about a 30-minute start to finish recipe, and you could do 2 plates at once. There you guys have it, a nice home-cooked meal, Cucina Bowl style, with me and Mani. And I hope that you, like this video. If you love cooking with me, or maybe just like it just a little bit, please hit the like button and hit subscribe so you never miss a video. Bye.